Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the collaboration between OGC and OSGeo because we are here at the FOSS event, and you're all huge fans of OSGeo. And I want to bring before to you how OGC and OSGeo collaboratively work to advance standards into all the uh, tools you use every day in your life, because most of you might not have that understanding. So I want to take that opportunity, and also I want to take that opportunity to also generally introduce you all to the OGC as well, because OGC itself is a stronger organization just like OSGeo. We are a 30-year-old organization. We are also a tech nonprofit headquartered in the US with offices in Europe. We have around 450 plus members, both from the commercial sector, large, medium, small, governments, national, regional, uh, research institutions, non-profits. All of them support OGC. Uh, like how Arjun talked about, our core business mission is about interoperability, to make data easily exchangeable between different systems, and in today's era both human and machine readable. This is our core objective, and we have been working on this mission, and open standards being the core of them, as you can see on the bottom. Then we provide compliance, so most of the OSGeo products that you use are OGC compliant. I'll talk about that. We provide learning on open standards to the community, and OSGeo and OGC organize something called code sprints, and a code sprint is coming up next week. It's a hybrid one. The in-person one is happening in the US, but it's a OGC, OSGeo, and Apache Software Foundation joint code sprint. It's happening next week. I'll talk about that as well. We do code sprints outside of our collaboration with OSGeo as well, and we do a lot of innovation programs called pilots to advance standards in the application domain, like disasters, marine, climate, smart cities, etc., and also on test beds to advance technologies and mature standards in applications such in use cases such as AI, cloud, high performance computing, and many more. So I'll just try to explain what OGC is and what OGC is not. I'll start with what OGC is not first, because we are not any kind of a regulator. We are a community to create open standards. That means unlike governments which regulate some things, we don't. And we don't enforce anything. Our standards are open to use. There is no limit restriction on anybody across the globe to use our standards. So any software developer, any national agency can pick our standard and start implementing those standards. We are not a vendor. Generally people get confused that we are providing data ourselves, we are providing software ourselves. We are not. It's the software providers, it's the data holders which use these standards and implement those standards. And we are not here to replace any national systems. As I said, we don't host any data or any systems, and OGC does not replace any national systems or maintain any autonomy over it. So we are, as I said, we are a member-driven organization. We are a tech non-profit. We are a neutral forum because in OGC, even large corporates, when they come together at a table, though they are competing in the market, when they come across to solve problems, they sit together and try to solve problems with a common objective. Even national governments, when they are having a competing views, still they come across the table and work across to solve that common problem. So we provide that neutrality for all the players to advance interoperability, and we enable collaboration and connection between the ecosystem of players. So as Arjun has said, why do we need to develop standards? The core objective is to enable interoperability so that the value of the data and the scalability of data can be achieved. Not only that, one kind of data set is not always, we have now have in AI, we have this multimodal data paradigm. So in the multimodal data paradigm in the AI world, how do you even integrate all those data sets for AI to make decisions, right? We are working on that currently. So we try to maximize the value of geospatial data through these standards, and we are always abreast with the technological developments because technology keeps on changing rapidly and the needs keep evolving. So we provide shared and open descriptions. Standards provide shared and open descriptions of what geospatial information is, how it is described, how it is accessed, and how it is used across various systems. So OGC standards focus on interfaces and models. We don't go to the implementations. The implementations are done by the community, both in the open source and the commercial sector. So we don't own any software products or any, we also don't prescribe system architectures. It is for the software developers and the implementers to look at the system architectures, at the same time implementing these open interfaces and open standards. So how do OGC evolve open standards? Most of you might not know. So standards are actually, OGC is just a platform and a enabler to do these standards. And again, the standards are created and written by our community itself. That means we have these national government organizations, we have these commercial organizations which are members. They identify various interoperability problems, and then they come together to the table and uh, identify those needs and write these specifications. These then become OGC standards. The other kind of standards are called community standards. So for example, you all use 3D tiles, and you know 3D tiles was evolved by Cesium. So Cesium brought the specification to OGC and said we want to make it as open. The benefit what Cesium got is the acceleration of the ecosystem. Just imagine if that Cesium 3D tiles have been a closed standard and not in an open interface, it would have taken a lot of time for the adoption and maturity to happen in the market. Because of the openness of the format, other players in the technology ecosystem were easily able to integrate that open format into their own systems and process, and the maturity happened pretty fast. So any time when we talk about formats like GeoTIFF, cloud optimized GeoTIFF, etc., in the raster side, these are OGC standards. When you are talking about GML, KML, or web mapping services like WMS, WFS, WMTS, etc., those are OGC standards. Now we have modern OGC standards on the API front, which are called OGC API maps, API tiles, API features, or many more API standards. So these standards are proposed, evolved, and refined by the members, which are our community, under various standards working groups. We have standards working groups under 50 different topics, which is having contributors from government, industry, and academia. And my call to the people in the room who are actually creating new kind of formats. For example, in the morning we had the presentation on a new rendering format, right? So those are the kinds of opportunities for them to come to OGC and see, can they have this new concept to rapidly get adopted and evolved in the market. So most of the work in OGC happens through something called domain working groups. So domain working groups are both on technology domains and user domains. This is where people sit across the table and talk about the technology maturity needs. And whenever they're talking about these technology maturity requirements and whenever interoperability requirements come, they form standard working groups and start evolving formal specification development work. And then these get tested and validated through test beds and code sprints. And the role of OGC is to host, govern, and publish these outcomes through transparent process, because again Arjun was talking that some neutral agencies should own the whole process of managing these standards, so that there is no collusion or uh, take somebody with interest does not take away the agenda to one sideline. So how do you as a community person or a community what you call contributor engage in OGC? So these are the various parts of engagement. One is you as an individual person can also now become a member of OGC. We have something called a professional membership, which is very inexpensive, I should say, even for Indian uh, professionals. We have both professional membership and developer membership. The developer membership is much inexpensive than a professional membership. And once you, and also organizations can also join OGC, commercial organizations, SMEs, who want to gain recognition for their brand, for their contributions, can also join OGC. And then you become part of the community and become part of these dialogues, as I said, as part of these domain working groups and standards working groups. And you become part of these standards creation process. You have an opportunity to contribute to our innovation programs. Also, when you're developing any particular software and you want compliance, you have that opportunity as well. And for certain agencies, like especially large national government agencies, we also provide advisory services. So my call for the community is to join OGC and contribute to the OGC. Similarly, like how we need a stronger FOSS community, we also need a stronger standards-based community in India, and that's why I'm here to request you all to talk to me and understand how you can contribute to OGC. So being here in the business for 30 years as OGC, we have a new vision. We want not to be just the standards driven community anymore. We want it to be the trusted geospatial community for both maturing the technology ecosystem and then the application ecosystem. As I said, OGC brings the legitimacy, transparency, trust, and all these things to the process, because the standards need to be purely open. And we provide a collaborative environment which is pre-competitive. That means even if you are having a competitor across the table, you're not discussing any your IP, any, you're not talking about your own business secrets and all, but you're looking at pre-competitive aspects. Just a good example is that you have the PowerPoint, the internet pin over here, or the power plug over there. It's just one plug, but various gadgets get covered to that, connected to it, and that's standardized. But innovation is happening to what is getting connected, right? So that's what we enable through standards. And we bring the shared interest to the table, because sometimes two similar governments always have the same problem, two similar commercial agencies have the same problem. So we can collaboratively solve that problem, uh, right? And there is a lot of learning and knowledge that happens, which helps you as a professional to take this learning into your own business and improve your products and services. And problem solving comes naturally to you by being here. So some of the new directions and new topics that OGC is working on is knowledge graphs, especially in the era of AI. We need this focus on knowledge graphs and refocusing on ontology and semantics. Again, AI systems need this as one of the key enablers. And also, as I said, we are mostly multimodal now in geospatial, especially. We don't talk about one format of data, right from LiDAR to radar to ortho to RGB to vector to all these kinds of data sets, even sensor data. So this is a multimodal challenge. And with AI, integrity, provenance, and trust is becoming critical, because when we trust open data, but how do you know when you're using that open data for critical applications? Who is the originator of this data? How does this data originate from? Can I use this in mission critical applications and get the results that I'm trying to achieve towards? Or for example, in the process of sending me the data, did anybody what you call make changes to the data, right? All this provenance information also needs to be there, so that ultimately uh, AI systems can build trust on this open data and can use it and give legitimate results. So this is one of the things that we are currently working on. So tomorrow, not only data will be open, there will be a lot of processes that will be open in the public. We have a lot of code on GitHub, right? So how do you even know that that's a trustable code that you are readily deploying and using it? Is there any malice or a bad intent behind that code that critical government systems might or might not be able to verify and trust? So we are trying to use some kind of a blockchain kind of uh, certification systems, both to data and processes, which will be enabling you to trust that piece of data that's coming to you, because that certificate clarifies what it is, right? Who is the originator of this data? What, how did they create this data? Similarly to a process, can you trust this process? So these are very futuristic topics we are working on. Again, security and privacy are going to be critical aspects that we have identified. So these are some of the aspects that we are going to working on under new directions, and anybody are interested in these, please talk to us, and please be ready to collaborate. As I said, the value we bring in to you as members is that we help you to influence and shape the markets, because when you are driving the technology as an independent player was driving with a collective vision that builds your brand and trust a lot. and it helps you with your building strong product insights, get strong market insights, and your staff will also be collaborating with a lot of people both on the user end and on the technology front. So all these benefits are naturally derived to your what you call your whole business. And because you're always at the edge of what is happening, being within OGC, your speed to market will also be good, and you're able to demonstrate thought leadership by doing all these. So OGC has different levels of membership. Specifically for small organizations, Explorer membership is a good place to start with. But for larger organizations, we have principal membership and strategic membership. As you can see, most of the commercial organizations, which are large organizations, are members at the principal level, and large governments like ESA, NASA, NOAA, Ordnance Survey, etc., are at the strategic level. So we have, as I said, 450 plus members across the globe. Even from India, we have around 21 members. So this is a place for members to exchange, learn, and collaborate. As I said, we have a new membership tier for professionals and developers. You can scan this QR code, and then you can go online and subscribe for a membership without any hassle. It's a easy to do process. And specifically for universities, we are also enabling their students to join and become members. So for example, if a university joins, university gets 20 student licenses. That means 20 students can become OGC professionals and again get this global exposure. As I said, we work on a lot of technology topics and application sectors. As you can see on the left, we work on AI, ML, digital twins, urban smart cities and urban, earth observation, analysis ready data. So we have a lot of topics that we work on the technology front, and also on the application sectors. Also, we work on most of the critical application areas. And as I said, for software providers, software developers, we provide certifications on product compliance. Around 41 organizations have their around 300 products implementing around 1350 standards getting certified. So you can get compliant, or also if you don't need compliance, you can still register your product on our website once you implement the standards, so that anybody looking at implementations, they can also have a look. So we also have self-registered implementations around 250 organizations, around 800 products. So you understand the value of so many organizations implementing and getting registered themselves. So there is a brief about the OGC standards. There are various types of OGC standards. I don't want to spend much time over it. You can go to ogc.org and you'll be able to look at all the different types of standards that are available from OGC that you can implement. But most of you might not know being about is the sensor standards. So when we talk in the geospatial sector, we do real time, but most of the time we are not doing real time because we don't have access to the sensor data, both on the weather side, on the any kind of agri, weather, all these kind of sensors. These are collecting data in real time, but you are not able to integrate those sensors. So anytime you want to do that, OGC standards help you to do that in an easy way. So you should explore them. As I said, we are moving most of our standards to modern APIs. So here I've listed around all these standards which are now in API, which are already approved for the API as APIs. So for vectors, we have features. For environmental data, multidimensional data, you have EDR. For you have maps or tiles to be used. Especially you have SDIs kind of a thing where you need catalogs, you have records. Also, I was talking to some, now as I said, how do you bring all these multimodal data to be AI ready? So it is called DGGS. So we have these different kinds of standards. And also, as I said, for the sensors, you have Sensor Things API. And also now we have something called connected systems, where you can connect, you can not only collect data from various types of sensors, you can also control them. For example, let us take an example of swarm of drones. So drones can have multiple sensors on them, right from the IMU to GNSS to the camera. It can be of multiple manufacturers, right? How do you control all these different drones of different manufacturers in using a single interface? So you can now do that with connected systems kind of a standard. So these are the new things that we are trying to do as per the changing trends in the market. So this is one. I'll share two success stories. One is from NRSC, who is one of our members. NRSC ISRO has this platform called Bhuvan. So Bhuvan, as you can see, implements around 8 OGC standards. Bhuvan platform facilitates governance, caters to around 150,000 unique users every day, and around 100 use cases and 150 customized solutions have been developed on Bhuvan, and they are now released a new version of Bhuvan. I welcome everybody to check the new version of Bhuvan as well. So Bhuvan is one of the successes from India that we see where they've implemented a lot of standards. And one of the latest projects, it's called the Geospatial Data Sharing Interface. It's a pilot project funded by the Department of Science and Technology, implemented by Indian Institute of Sciences. It's a modern catalog. It's an experimentation towards modern catalog, implements most of the OGC modern standards, as you can see on the screen. And again, they are implementing OGC API standards and Stack as well. So Stack is also one of the latest OGC standards. It's a community standard now. And also they have integrated various tools like PostGIS, GDAL, and etc. and build this platform. Also, one good thing is this is an open source implementation. So if you want to reuse this implementation for your own use in your own projects, you are free to do, because the whole implementation is available on GitHub. So I welcome you to use it and also become contributors to this open hub, open source repository of GDI. So now I come to the collaboration between OGC and OSGeo. So OGC and OSGeo have formally been collaborating via a memorandum of understanding since 2008. So it's a long-standing collaboration. So these are the benefits that OSGeo finds. Then this is according to OSGeo uh, executive team. So standards provide the OSGeo community to interoperate in numerous environments and markets. The collaboration with OGC is helping to evolve next generation OSGeo projects, so that the standards that are getting developed get implemented in these OSGeo products, and they also get compliance. And as I said, OSGeo and OGC collaboratively work on code sprints. And one good thing is that most of the new standards that are coming into OGC, OSGeo projects are early implementers. That means they are implementing whenever the standard is there, they are one of the first implementers. So the first implementers always get a certificate, a special certificate called Reference Implementation Certificate, which I'll show on the next screen, in the coming screens, which a few OSGeo projects are able to achieve. So these are the OSGeo products implementing OGC standards. Sorry, not products, projects. 8 OSGeo projects are registered and certified for OGC compliance. You can see on the screen, right from GDAL to for geospatial libraries, to for metadata catalog, you have PyCSW, and then you have various other web mapping uh, projects you can see on the screen. And also recently on IoT, we have ISTSOS as a new project from OSGeo. So all these OSGeo projects are now implementing various OGC standards and are certified for the OGC standards. So this is how an OGC certification looks like. So as you can see on the top, the implementing agency is Open Source Geospatial Foundation, OSGeo, getting this certificate. And then you see a particular software, for example, GeoServer, and also you'll see a version. For example, you see GeoServer 2.2.8. Then you have all these implementations, standards that GeoServer 2.2.8 is implementing, for which it is getting certified. So for example, if you see RI, so as you can see for GeoPackage, GeoTIFF, etc. and etc., it got a reference implementation certificate. Similarly, you have the modern Python package called PyGeo API, which was demonstrated in the workshop, I believe, yesterday. So PyGeo API implements a lot of OGC APIs as reference implementations. Similarly, you have GDAL, PyCSW, Map Server, and the ISSOS as well, implementing the standards. So as I said, we do code sprints. So code sprints help to test various open source OSGeo projects and their implementations of OGC standards in a collaborative way. So for example, in the green, you see various Geo network is one of the OSGeo packages. PyGeo API is one of the OGC packages. QGIS is there. So GDAL is there. So all these things get we implement various OGC standards, and then these are the standards and related subcomponents that are getting tested in the various tested in the recent OGC code sprint. And there is this upcoming code sprint next week, as I said, from Jan 27th to 29th. It's happening in Colorado, but you can join in online mode. So again, this is a QR code for the website. You can scan the QR code and register yourself and participate in this code sprint. So code sprints are a way where you can collaboratively work with as a contributor to the OSGeo community, and also contribute to the testing of standards in the OSGeo projects. So the call for the opportunities for you are many. So this is a call for action and call for interest. We invite on behalf of OSGeo and OGC to join as an organizational or individual member of OGC and contribute to domains and standards working groups. Also, you have an opportunity to make your software OGC compliant, which again brings a marketing advantage. And also you can lead and participate in code sprints and communicate the value of open standards in the open source community. So with this, I take the opportunity to thank you for your patience, and thanks for the organizers of FOSS4G Asia for providing OGC this opportunity. Thank you.